Hey everybody, this is Linda. Welcome to Lenny P's Place. I hope everyone is doing wonderful on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Here in North Carolina, you couldn't ask for anything to be any more beautiful than the day we have outside. The weather is just perfect. But that's not what I came here for today. I came here to show you my completed old document and lace journal. I followed along with Rachel on Roxy's Creations, and she made one of these. Mine is not nearly as beautiful as hers, but I didn't have all the good stuff that she's got. I used some of her old document digitals and printed it on old blank book pages, and I used some of her Victorian fussy cuts. I don't remember which collection it was, but anyway, I used one of those, and yeah, so this is what I came up with, and I think it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. So like Rachel, I just used a piece of sari to bind it, so I'll take that off. Tons of strings, as we all know. Doesn't matter how many times you get them off, there's always more. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. So those are off for now. And so this is my journal. I've shown it a few times, but I'll just do a complete flip through before I put it on the shelf. So I used an old piece of upholstery fabric. It's kind of looks like an old tapestry thing, but it's just some type of old vintage fabric. Probably a chair was covered with it or something, or maybe it was a pillow, I don't know. Anyway, I used that on the front, and then this beautiful piece of vintage lace that I think I got from Roseanne. I know I did. I got that from Roseanne in our last swap that we did. So thank you so much, Roseanne. It's beautiful, and it has a very nice home on my beautiful book. And on the back, I used an old piece of hemp. It was a European grain sack from the 1700s or 1800s. I forget now. Anyway, it's old. And then I used vintage lace to go around the whole thing. So and then the binding is done the way Rachel did it. She said that she showed some old documents that were bound with the binding done this way. You just have a hole here and a hole here, and then you just wrap it around. So it's a pretty good way to bind stuff. It's very simple. So on the inside, I used some silk. It wasn't a piece of sari silk. It was a piece of a sample from a book that I had. So I used that, and then this is a vintage piece here that it's an antique piece that I got in a box of antique laces that I bought at an antique store. And then this is some of the trim that was in there in that box. This little ribbon is not, this little piece of velvet ribbon was not in there. Nor was this lace here. This was. And then these are some lace samples that I got from Patty over at Sacred Mementos. She has auctions on Mondays and Thursday nights, so if you're looking for some antique and vintage things, she's the girl to go to. Okay, and here is just a picture. I used a lot of images from this Victorian Victoria Diary, Cynthia Hart's Victoria Diary from 1996. I got this from a thrift store, and I used a lot of the images in that. And I'll just go ahead and tell you that I used some images from this sticker book here also. So those are and then I used a few of the fussy cuts from Rachel's Victorian kit. Okay, so I used this is an antique piece of lace from a collar, and this little flower was also in the antique box of laces that I bought. This is one of the images from Rachel's kit, and from a documents kit, and I printed it on an old piece of paper from an old book, and it feels like rag paper. It's got that cottony feeling to it. And this is an image out of the diary. This is another piece of antique lace. I love this, so pretty. I tried to showcase some of my favorite laces. I left this page blank. This is another one of Rachel's digitals, printed on another old piece of book paper. It's from the blank pages in the front and in the back of some of the old books that I had. I just tore the pages out and used them to make it as authentic as possible, because I didn't have the real thing. A belly band with another piece of lace. And I made this little sample card. I made it from a little file folder that I have the die for, and I used, this is a vintage, one of the vintage labels from Rachel's kit, and another piece of old lace underneath there. And I don't remember where the image was that I put on there. It was just some flowers, but I don't know where it came from. So it's kind of layered up. And then on the inside are, this is samples lace number 1. So this piece right across the top here belongs to the piece on the bottom. And there's, let me find something to, I'll use no, I won't use that. That's attached. I forgot I glued that down. How about this red? I'll show you this in a few minutes. There's the first piece of lace that's on here. And then here's the second piece. These are all old antique laces. And I just wanted to have a little bit that I can look back and say, oh, that was very pretty. And that I don't have any more. I used it all or gave it away. Or sold it or swapped it. That's what I usually do with most of my laces, because I can't keep them all. I just like to have some. That one. That was an old, off of an old dress or blouse or something from a long time ago. It's just rotten. You can just pull it and it just tears. And then I love this piece. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty. Hope it's showing up. Hope you can see it. And then again, this is the last piece. And I'm not sure. Some of these, there's a few of these that I might have got from Roseanne. I'm not sure. We've done so many swaps, it's hard to remember. Seems like every time we both get a good size stash of new old vintage and antique laces, we do a swap. So we pretty much have each other's stuff. You know, she's got a bunch of mine and I've got a bunch of hers. So it could have been from one of our swaps. I'm not sure. And then this butterfly came out of my sticker book. There's another piece of lace here. And this was a piece of a ledger that I got from Patty. I bought some ledger pages, and I have bought a ledger from her. So came out of some of that stuff. I love that Patty takes some of the ledgers apart and then makes makes bundles out of them, so you don't have to buy the whole ledger. Because I mean, I'll never use up all the pages in the ledger. So anyway, that's a piece from Patty. This is another. This came out of an American magazine book that I have, and I stuck another flower from the sticker book on there. And let's see, here's another piece of lace on this one. I didn't do anything to it. I just put the lace on there. I didn't want to cover up the paper. And this came out of that same old magazine, the American magazine, and it's just an advertisement. And this is a printed piece from Rachel's kit. And then I added 3 little antique flowers there. And let's see over here. Yeah, this is the back of the piece I printed from Rachel's kit. Here's another piece of lace. It's glued down. It's not a pocket. And this is a beautiful piece that came from that box of antique laces and trims that I purchased from the antique dealer. And this was a part of a sleeve, the ruffled part of the sleeve. And it must have came way down because it was long. It was way long, this long. And it's so pretty. And so I picked out one of the best pieces on the cuff, or whatever you want to call it, and put that in here so that I could have it forever and always. And this is just a little sticker from the sticker book. No, take that. Yeah, it's from the sticker book. Over here is a piece of lace, and this is another piece of the printables from Rachel. I printed it on. This is the other side of that paper that feels like rag paper. And in here is an old faux postcard and a little cigarette card issued by Gallagher, Virginia House, London, and Belfast. Belfast. That's the dog rose. Very pretty flower. And I thought it went well there. This is part of the from the diary book or calendar book. This is an old piece of one of my journals. Ledgers. This is a beautiful piece of lace here. It goes from here to there. Oh, I'm out of frame, so you can't see that. There we go. And I actually stitched this on. There's a few places that I stitched. Most of them I glued because it was hard to stitch, because I had already put my pages in my book. This is a piece of antique velvet. So beautiful, so soft. I just love it. It's pink. I'm not sure that it's really picking up how beautiful the color is. Here's another beautiful trim. Here's another one over here. And here's a piece. This one's kind of a pink color, but it doesn't look to me like it's showing up. but I did stitch that down. Here's two old medallions, flowers, whatever you want to call them. And they were out of the same antique box, I think. Well, this one might not have been. This, no, I think I got those from Roseanne. I think that was in our last swap. Just so confused sometimes. Can't keep all this stuff in my head. You can see I stitched this pink lace down. And this I know came out of my box because I sent one to Roseanne. And I think I put one in my giveaway that I just did. I believe there's one in there. Here's another piece from my, this was very interesting because this is from, it's an old ledger, but it's from the courthouse. It was a court docket book, I guess, from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, which I thought was really cool because I lived there back in the late 80s. I loved it there. Such a nice place. Loved it. Okay, anyway, to go on, this is another very nice piece of paper, and I printed Roxy's or Rachel's digitals on it, and this is from the sticker book. This is one of Rachel's printables, and it's another beautiful piece of lace here. And this is another sticker. I got lazy, as you can see, and just started taking stickers out of the book. It was the easiest way to do it. This is my Rick Rack flowers. It's made from Rick Rack. I need to figure out how to do that. Can't be that hard to do, I don't think. But I'm not sure. I'm going to try it one of these days. And here's a piece of velvet ribbon, but it's not from, it's not it's vintage, but it's not that old. I'd say late vintage. And here's a piece of a collar. That's just beautiful. And another sticker. This is from the diary, the Victorian diary. Printed on, this is a piece of the American Magazine? I think so. I can't read it. Oh, and I forgot to say that that's where this image also came from, was out of that magazine. And it's so old, it's really splitting right down the middle. I might have to, well, I'm not going to be open and closing it that much, so I don't want to put a piece of tape down the middle because they're in a conversation, and I don't want to separate them. So I'll probably just leave that alone. Let's see, where were we? Over here. Another piece of the ledger, and oh, another sample. This is sample number 2. These are smaller laces, and I used, this is a printable from Rachel, and this is too. These are Rachel's printables here. And then here's my second lace sample. I can't slip anything under them because because I glued them down. No, I didn't. I stapled them. I stapled them onto this piece of, yeah, maybe I can. This isn't going to work very well. I don't think you can see them anyway too good, but I'll just hold them up. They're very, very pretty old laces. Okay, so that's that. That back in there. There's another old piece from something. I'm not sure what. Probably a garment, I think. And that's the other side of it. Like an old lace, like an old cuff or something too. And that's a little shell button, a little heart, and a little flower. And over here I made a little snippet just to add a little color. And that's another piece of that antique velvet with another little flower that was in there. And here's an old piece of lace here, and 2 images from the sticker book. Another vintage piece of lace, or antique lace. I think, yeah, that's antique lace there. 2 more little flowers I got in my antique box. This is another little faux postcard, and I just put this image from the sticker book on it. And here's the back of the book. This is the end. It's got another piece of the ledger, the court docket ledger, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm calling it. Another nice, very old, beautiful piece of lace that I used as a pocket. And a flower here. And that is the end of the book. Oh, I had this on here because it didn't seem like it wanted to stay in there because the envelope's very heavy. So I stuck that there. So that is the old docket and old documents and antique. I'm having trouble wrapping this around. Old documents and antique lace journal. So there we go. Good enough. Okay, now I did have a little haul I wanted to show you. It's not a very big one, and it's not a very exciting one. First, I got these 2 really cute stamps from the Dollar Tree. Well, I paid $1.25 a piece for them. Aren't they just so cute? I love them. Just love them. Haven't tried them out yet, so I don't know how well they stamp, but they sure are cute. Okay, so that's those. And then went to Walmart. And, you know, I don't normally buy a lot of fabric and stuff from anywhere but the thrift store, but I did buy a few things. I bought this fat quarter from Waverly for, I think it was 98 cents or 97 cents. And this one was $1.67. And I don't know who makes this one, but sure is cute. Look at that. Would that be, isn't that just the cutest? I love that. My taste is sort of starting to change a little. I think I'm about burnt out on pinks and creams and whites. It seems like I've been leaning towards more colorful things here lately. Even in my clothes, I've been buying a little bit more bright colored things. Let's see. Let me get this out of here. This is 100% cotton, and I got this. I guess they're fat quarters. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can. I don't even know if I can get this off without cutting it. I don't want to cut it because I might want to use the ribbon since I don't have a lot of colored laces and ribbons because everything is white and cream and pink. So anyway, this one looks more like a Christmas, so I'll probably put this one away and save it for Christmas. It's green and red, but I got some, I don't know if I'll use the black either. I don't know if I use that one, but I like this one. I love this one. And this one. I really got it for those 2. Not so much for this. Those to me are too wintry. Well, this one maybe. It might work. But I think not. I think it's too wintry for the summer. But I do love these. I will be using those. And I'll definitely be using this. It's so cute. I love it. Even if I just make snippets or something out of it and slow stitch on them. Okay, so that was it from Walmart. And then my husband and I stopped at a little thrift store. We don't normally go there. They don't normally have anything, but we stopped. And of course I had to get something. So I got these little flowers. I thought I might could use these for something. They were $1. And then I got this wire fabric ribbon. It says it's for Christmas, but I don't necessarily think it would have to be Christmassy. It kind of looks to me like you could use it for anything. Just pull the wire out. I think it would be fine. It's Martha Stewart. And it was $2. And then I really like this blue and yellow one. Isn't that pretty? And it feels a tad stiff, but I think I can work with it. It's very pretty. And so there was that. And then I saw this old wooden spool of thread, and he just threw it in. He didn't charge me for it. It's a lily thread. It feels quite strong. I think I could use that. I'm going to try. It's number 59. It's a nice brown, but I love the spool. And then I found some Pritt glue. Now, I don't know if I actually found this a week or so ago and forgot to show it. I got 2 of them in a pack from the thrift store. And if you watch Claire over at Purple Poppy, she uses her Pritt stick all the time. And so I gave it a try. And it does work as well to me as my Scotch Create. Because as I said before, Yoo-hoo doesn't work for me. Ooh-hoo or yoo-hoo or however you say it. It just does not stick for me. But this does, and this little Pritt sticks just as well. So anyway, I looked on Amazon and they don't have them. So I can't get any more of them, because it certainly won't pay me to order them from the UK. So I do have 2. I'll use them and then I'll be done with them, I guess. So I think that was it. I'm going to be coming back in a little while with my completed March page for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So I'll see you then. Thanks for stopping by. I hope the rest of your day is wonderful. Be safe and stay well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.